Hello everyone, this is Randil. Welcome back to our channel. I'm back with a new video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you pie charts. It's very important for all the students of grade 10, grade 11 and IELTS students to take part in this lesson. This is the second video in this series of pie charts. In my first video on pie charts, we already discussed some important steps that you need to take when describing a pie chart. If you haven't watched my previous video on pie chart, you may watch it first. Then you are well prepared for this lesson. You can use the above link to watch my previous video on pie charts. The main objective of today's lesson is to teach you how to describe a pie chart given according to the structure, using some useful language and vocabulary. First, we are going to be looking at very important structure that can be used to describe any type of pie charts. If you follow the same structure when you describe a pie chart at the exam, I am quite sure that you will be able to obtain the highest marks allocated for the pie charts at the exam. Then we will be going through a model answer which will help you to understand about the structure well. Next, you will have a chance to take a look at some important examples. Those examples are very important. They will teach you to use some different useful language and vocabulary when you describe pie charts at the exam. Actually, you can use them when you write your description about any pie chart given at the exam. As I told you earlier, this lesson is very important to everyone, especially if you are someone who is getting ready for an exam in English language. This video will be the right one for you. Then join me in this lesson of pie charts. If you are ready, let's get started.
Pie charts part 2. As I told you in the introduction, this lesson is very important to everyone. If you are someone who is going to take IELTS, this video will provide you very basic information about pie charts. If you are someone who is going to take O-level exam, this video will provide you much information and useful language to develop your description about any single pie chart given in a meaningful way. First, I will let you walk through a very important structure that will help you grow your description focusing only on relevant details. Here is the structure that you can use to build your description. First, introduction, next, overview, then first feature and second feature. One important point you need to remember: we don't write a conclusion or we don't include our opinions when we describe any pie chart. We only focus on the details included in the pie chart. Now, let's take a look at the introduction. I am going to give you some useful information that you need when you write your introduction. First paragraph is the introduction when describing a pie chart. Introduce your pie chart to the reader in 2 sentences maximum. When writing the introduction, paraphrase the information from the question in the exam paper. Include what the pie chart shows and for what period of time in your introduction. Note: you shouldn't copy the same thing from the question in your introduction. You can easily paraphrase the question in the exam paper. Remember, when you paraphrase, you can use synonyms. Look at this example here. I have taken this extract from an exam question. The pie chart below shows the percentages of economic sectors' contribution to the economy of Sri Lanka. Now I am going to paraphrase this question using how and the verb contribute. Instead of using show, you can use a synonym. A word like illustrate, explains, represents. The pie chart illustrates how the economic sectors contributed to the economy of Sri Lanka. Then in the next step, you can add the period of time. The pie chart illustrates how the economic sectors contributed to the economy of Sri Lanka in the year 2015. in 2015 changes into in the year 2015. Here are some introducing verbs that you can use when you paraphrase the question. Show, illustrate, demonstrate, depict, break down, describe, reveal, display, represent, provide information about. Before we move on to learn about overview, which is the second paragraph of the description, we can learn some useful vocabulary. I have already included some useful phrases that can be used when you write your overview and when you describe features. 10%. There are different ways how you can write 10%. All these methods are accepted. 10%, 10% percent in two words, again 10%, 10 in number, a tenth, 1/10, or 1 in 10. Some examples will show you how you can use them. 10% of the people like to watch drama. 1 in 10 people like to watch drama. 11% of the people like to watch romance. It is slightly more than a tenth. 20%, 20% in two words, 20%, 20 in number, 2/10, a fifth, 1/5, 2 in 10. 25%, 25% percent in two words, 25%, 25 in number, a quarter, 1/4, a fourth, 1/4. 50%, 50%, 50 in number, half, 5 in 10. 40%, 4/10, 2/5, 4 in 10. 60%, 6/10, 3/5, 6 in 10. 75%, 3/4. 80%, 8/10, 4/5, 8 in 10. When we describe different features with different percentages, 12%, slightly more than a tenth, slightly more than 10%, or 1 in 10. An example, slightly more than 1 in 10 people prefer to eat ice cream in summer, 9%. An example, slightly less than 1 in 10 people enjoy working at home, 15%. Less than a fifth, less than 20%. Example, less than a fifth of people go out at night for various purposes, 23%. Less than a quarter, less than 25%. An example, the population in Colombo was recorded at less than a quarter. Now let's look at the overview. Include 2 or 3 key features in the overview. Do not write too many numbers, percentages or dates in the overview. Now I am going to tell you how to find the key features. Search for the largest and the smallest slices. Let's look at this example here. The largest slice represents the service sector at 57.6% and the smallest slice shows agricultural sector at 10.1%. According to these two pieces of information, we can write the overview. Overall, in this specific period of time, agricultural sector contributed the least to the economy of Sri Lanka, while the service sector was the most significant sector, and industrial sector became the second largest segment. Here is some useful language that can be used to write the overview and to describe features. Service sector was the largest segment. Service sector was the most significant part of the economy. Service sector made up the largest part of the pie chart. Service sector contributed the most to the economy. Service sector made the highest contribution to the economy. Agricultural sector was the smallest segment. Agricultural sector was the least significant part of the economy. Agricultural sector made up the smallest part of the pie chart. Agricultural sector contributed the least to the economy. Agricultural sector made the smallest contribution to the economy. Let's look at the specific features now. Write the specific numbers to describe differences. Don't write all the specific details in one large paragraph. You should group the specific features of your pie chart into separate paragraphs Let's have a look at the same example. We can first describe the largest piece of the pie chart with numbers. Service sector made up 57.6% of the total of Sri Lanka's economy in 2015. It is slightly less than 6/10 and contributed the most to the economy of Sri Lanka. Now we can describe the next feature. The smallest piece of the chart, agriculture. Agricultural sector accounted for 10.1% of the total economy of Sri Lanka in the year 2015. It was slightly more than a tenth and made the least contribution to Sri Lanka's economy. Let's look at the next feature now. Industrial sector constituted 32.3% of the total. It was the second most significant part of the pie chart and was higher than agriculture by 20%. Here's the final answer. First paragraph, introduction. Second paragraph, overview. Third paragraph, first feature. In the third paragraph, I have already included the highest percentage and the lowest percentage. In the fourth paragraph, second feature, I have included the details of the second largest piece and comparison with the smallest piece. Let's look at the answer together. The pie chart illustrates how the economic sectors contributed to the economy of Sri Lanka in the year 2015. Overall, in this specific period of time, agriculture contributed the least to the economy of Sri Lanka, while the industrial sector was the most significant sector, and service sector became the second largest segment. Service sector made up 57.6% of the total of Sri Lanka's economy in 2015. It is slightly less than 6/10 and contributed the most to the economy of Sri Lanka. Agricultural sector accounted for 10.1% of the total economy of Sri Lanka in the year 2015. It was slightly more than a tenth and made the least contribution to Sri Lanka's economy. Industrial sector constituted 32.3% of the total. It was the second most significant part of the pie chart and was higher than agriculture by 20%. Let's look at an example. The following pie chart shows the percentages of students using different modes of transport to and from school. Study the chart and write a description of it. Use about 100 words. The following words will help you. Most popular, mostly used, majority, minority, lowest percentage, highest percentage. Look at the pie chart here. 35% of the students travel by bus. 25% of the students travel by school van. 20% travel by train. 5% by motorbike. 3% by car. 2% on foot. 10% by cycle. You can follow the same structure to describe the pie chart. Introduction. The pie chart demonstrates how different modes of transport were used by school children percentage-wise in the year 2020. Overview. Overall, in this specific period of time, traveling by bus is the most popular mode of transport, while going to and from school on foot is the least significant segment of the chart. First feature, traveling by bus accounted for 35% of the total. It was slightly more than 3/10 and the most popular among the students. Going to school on foot made up 3%, which was the lowest percentage. Second feature, among the other modes of transport, traveling by school van, train and cycle are more popular than traveling by private vehicles. They were at 25%, 20% and 10% respectively. Majority of the school children mostly used bus, the school van, train as their modes of transport, whereas minority used cycle, car, motorbike. Let's move on to another example. The following pie chart shows what the students of your school like to read. The information is given in percentages. Study the chart and write a description about it. The following words will help you. Use about 100 words. Majority, minority, lowest percentage, highest percentage, equal number. Let's look at the pie chart now. 30% of the students read newspapers, 25% novels, 20% short stories, 10% magazines, 10% poetry, 5% cartoons. Let's move on to the description. You can use the same structure. Introduction, overview, first feature, second feature. Introduction. The following pie chart describes how students of our school were interested in reading different types of books, percentage-wise. Overview. Overall, according to the pie chart, reading newspapers made up the largest part of the chart, while reading cartoon was the smallest segment. First feature. Reading newspapers accounted for 30% of the total. It was precisely 3/10 and the most popular among our school children. Reading cartoons made up 5%, which was the lowest percentage. Second feature. An equal number of students enjoyed reading magazines and poetry at 10%. Majority of the students love reading newspapers, novels and short stories at 75%. Minority of the students enjoy reading magazines, poetry and cartoons at 25%. We have come to the end of our presentation on pie charts. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you find this video very important and useful, subscribe to our channel and alarm the notification bell. Don't forget to share this video. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye now.